Hey everyone, it's your girl Miss Jennifer. So today I'm going to be talking about the differences between Arise and LiveOps to help you make a decision on which one you think would be best for you. I get asked a lot of questions about working from home opportunities. Arise and LiveOps are both very popular, so I'm just going to give you some basic facts that hopefully will help you make a decision. Okay, so let's talk about the things that are exactly alike between the two. With both, you're going to make your own schedule. No one tells you when to work. You may have a requirement of how many hours you have to work for a certain client, but no one tells you what hours to work or what days to work. You're considered an independent contractor with both. You will be using your own equipment. No voice over phone is allowed, so you will need a phone that actually has a jack. So it needs to either plug into the wall, or if you have a modem like with Comcast where you have a phone jack, you can use that. And you can service only the programs you want. So if there's a client you don't like, you don't have to service that particular client. Now be mindful that when I speak of Arise through this whole video, I'm talking about you operating as a CSP, a customer service provider, not an IBO where you have agents working under you and you're considered a business with employees under you or contractors under you. So getting started, or the enrollment process, is a little bit different between the two. With LiveOps, it's almost like a regular job application. You're going to go to their site, select that you want to become an agent, and you will apply to one of the listings they have. You will likely pay a background check fee, and that's only one time. And it's only when you're selected to move forward, so you don't pay anything up front. Only if they decide to bring you on will you pay this background check fee. And there can be a waiting period to get started, so you may hear from them within a few days, or it can be months before you hear anything. With the Rise, it's a little bit quicker of a process. You'll select an IBO to work under. You'll fill out your personal information. If you know someone who is a IBO with the Rise, they can just give you their information and you can use that during the enrollment process. There is no initial background check for U.S. residents, so you don't have a background fee to pay. It used to be, but not anymore. Keep in mind there are background checks once you select a client, but you don't pay for those. And you can usually get started very quickly with the Rise. The turnaround time is pretty quickly, but there is a training process, and I'll get into that later. Okay, so with both, you're going to have to train for whatever client that you choose. It's a little bit different with both. With the Rise, you will have to pay a registration fee per client that you work for. So if you start with one client, you'll pay whatever the registration fee is for that client, and then if you decide you want to be on another client's project, you can absolutely do that. You will pay their registration fee. These fees can range anywhere from $19.99 to $149 or more. The training is instructor-led and self-paced, so usually there's a set time for most projects that you will have to select. The training typically is 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 2 to 4 hours. It just varies per client. You have to pay the registration fee before you can start the class. It is non-refundable. Most of them typically last 4 to 6 weeks, and it may involve live call taking. You will be paid for the time that you are taking the live calls. However, the training in itself, classroom time, is not paid for. With LiveOps, there is absolutely no fees after you do that initial background check. You can be on as many clients as you want. You will never pay to register for a client. It's usually 100% self-paced. So just doing modules and learning on your own time. The total training is usually less, from the projects I've worked on, usually less than 48 hours altogether. You don't have to do it consecutively. You can do 2 hours here, 2 hours there. Work at your own pace. They may have deadlines, and they may have a nesting period as well. Okay, so scheduling is going to work a little bit different between the two. I'm going to talk a little fast just because I don't want it to take too much time. Okay, so with the Rise and LiveOps, your schedule is going to roll out at a set time on set days, depending on the project you're on. The difference is with LiveOps, it's a universal day and time for all agents on that project. There is no priority. Arise gives priority based off of different metrics and performance percentages, so some people will have access to the schedule before you. With both, most of the clients will have a minimum either weekly or monthly requirement that you have to work. They don't tell you when to work, but they do have an amount of time that you have to work. So with the Rise, it's usually a per week requirement. With LiveOps, they say per week or by the hour. So it may be a 60-hour requirement with LiveOps for the month. How many hours you work in a week is up to you, as long as you meet that 60-hour a month quota or 30-hour a month, whatever it is. Both Arise and LiveOps, their schedule is done in 30-minute increments. So if you want to work 1 hour, that means you need to schedule yourself for 2 blocks. It'll make more sense when you see the actual schedule. I found with LiveOps, there are usually more available spots on the schedule because it is first come, first serve with both Arise and LiveOps as far as getting scheduled. You'll understand why LiveOps may have a little bit more spots once I get into the pay part. You are penalized if you release times you are committed to be working with Arise if you do it less than 48 hours away from the time. Prior to 48 hours of that shift, there's absolutely no penalty whether someone picks up the spot or not. With LiveOps, there's no penalty as long as someone picks it up, and you have up to 5 minutes prior to your shift start to release it. As long as someone picks it up, there's absolutely no penalty. With Arise, they will penalize you if you do it less than 48 hours away. However, they do allow you to swap. So if someone picks up that shift and it's 4 hours away, there's no penalty. And with both, not working the times you scheduled to work and no one picks up your schedule, it will affect your schedule availability. So you will have access to less hours from doing that. And the part you're probably most interested in, pay. Now, it works very differently with Arise and LiveOps. Now, with both, you're typically paid twice per month. With LiveOps, it's the 1st and 15th. Arise, it may vary depending on who your IBO is. I'm not sure if everybody has the same pay date. No taxes is going to come out of your check with either Arise or LiveOps because you are an independent contractor. Here's the big difference. Arise pays by the hour or per minute, whichever is greater, but it's guaranteed pay. So whether you are talking the entire hour on the phone or you only get 2 calls and you only talk a total of 10 minutes on the phone in that hour, as long as you're available, you're going to get paid. So if your project pays $10 an hour, you're going to get paid $10 an hour. If it's 25 cents a minute and you talk the whole 60 minutes, you'll get the $15 versus the $10, whichever comes out to be greater, but you're guaranteed to be paid for your time. LiveOps pays per minute of talk time. If you're not talking, you're not being paid. So if you get calls the whole hour you're working and you're getting paid 25 cents a minute and you talk the whole 60 minutes, you know, at 60 minutes times 25 cents, that's about 15 bucks. If you are sitting there available for an hour, you get 4 calls. Each call is 4 minutes. That's about 16 minutes of talk time. You're only going to get $4. So that is the major difference between LiveOps and Arise. So you do want to get a busier client if you're going to work on LiveOps. With LiveOps, you will keep 100% of whatever you earn. You make it, you keep it. With Arise, service fees are deducted from each paycheck by your IBO. That fee may vary depending on your IBO. It can be $35, it can be $25. It will vary, but it's going to come out of every paycheck. LiveOps, you keep everything. So I hope this has been helpful for you making a decision. I didn't want to make this video too long, so I tried to talk a little faster. But if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to respond if I can answer them. Until next time, you guys stay blessed and good luck with your work from home venture.